Hey everybody, how's it going? Aaron Rift here, along with good old JM, Jeff Meacham, back here on NoDQ.com once again.
I always rise from the ashes. Right? You think I'm just when you think it's safe to go back in the water of the internet, here comes Jeff Meacham to ruin your day.
Exactly. Now Jeff actually does serve a purpose on here, besides giving some input on tonight's pay-per-view.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we have a special announcement.
Yes.
Some of you probably already know what the announcement is, but some of you don't, so we'll save that for the end. Let's get down to the pay-per-view here. What did you think about the show from top to bottom?
You know, I was leery going into this show, to be honest with you, Aaron. I was worried that it was going to be a letdown from top to bottom, and it actually came through. Hell in a Cell was one of the better Hell in a Cell match pay-per-views they've had since the inception back, what was it, 5 years ago now? 2009?
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, so, you know, it was, there wasn't a, even Brie and Nikki Bella wasn't a bad match. It was actually a decent card overall. So, you know, there wasn't anything really bad set on my mind as a horrible. There was a couple of weak spots in the Cena-Orton match, but, you know, that's, you know, they've been going at it for 12 years. You know, they're gonna have weak spots after all this time.
Yeah, overall, I agree with you. I felt that the matches were very solid. There was nothing really bad on the show. I just felt that it was very routine for the most part. Every match just felt like another match that you've seen in the past, especially with Cena versus Orton, because we've seen it so many times.
Including in Hell in a Cell before.
Yeah, it just felt like your typical Cena versus Orton Hell in a Cell match that we saw in the past.
Yeah, and you know, I've made no secret in the last few years, even breaking away from you, that I'm a John Cena fan. I will be, because I appreciate what he does for the community and for the kids and everything like that, but he should not have won the match, period. Just the way that is.
Well, I talked about it in my videos. I really felt that you could have gone with a fresh matchup in Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton in St. Louis. Randy Orton's hometown.
Survivor Series, right? Yeah. But it's like, when have you ever seen Orton versus Lesnar? They all started about the same time in 2002. They said it all night. Lesnar started in March of 2002. Randy came a month later. Cena came 2 months after that. They all started about the same, along with Batista that same year. The class of 2002 was the dominant class. But you know, we never got to see Batista Lesnar. We never got to see Lesnar Orton. We've seen the other matches over and over again.
Yeah, so basically we're getting Lesnar versus Cena yet again, probably at the Royal Rumble. I felt that from a technical standpoint the match was good,
yes,
but I just felt from a creative standpoint it was very disappointing.
I did like the spot of the AA into the RKO.
Yeah, the RKO was cool.
Randy Orton, you know, it's all over the NoDQ group on Facebook, the RKO out of nowhere. But that RKO is taking over the world. It's more lethal than the Diamond Cutter ever was, I think.
Yeah, and it looks like he's still going in the direction of a babyface turn to feud with Seth Rollins.
Which I don't like. I don't like. I don't want to have to like Randy Orton. I like hating him. It bothers me that he's never been a solid, legitimate, decent babyface ever. He needs to be heel.
I think the out of nowhere meme or meme, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it.
Whatever. But the problem is, who said this to me? I don't know who said it to me. I told my dad the other day. Orton is turning babyface in a time where WWE desperately needs good, solid top heels. They went in the direction with somebody else tonight that's put him back in the heel world when he was been slowly beginning cheers. So we'll talk about that later. But you know, Orton turning babyface right now, they need a top heel. And maybe with the direction they went with the other guy, maybe Orton will serve his purpose as babyface. Time will tell. Yeah,
so we opened up with Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro, 2 out of 3 falls match. I thought it was very good. It was a bit short. I think that if it had more time, it would have been a possible match of the year contender.
If it had gone 3 falls, it would have been match of the year. Alex Riley on the network was talking about it could be match of the year contender. Dolph beating Cesaro in 2 straight falls only helps Dolph Ziggler. It does not help Cesaro. Somebody in the NoDQ group said he didn't look weak. I disagree. Cesaro had some good spots, but he looked weak going in at the end of that match with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph beat him 2 straight. You don't beat anybody 2 straight at a best of 3 falls match. It's not how a best of 3 falls match is designed.
And Dolph Ziggler beat Cesaro on SmackDown too.
Exactly.
To build up to the match that Dolph Ziggler won again.
So yeah. you know, the whole idea of a feud is for the babyface to come back and get the big win at the end of the payoff. You had the babyface win on SmackDown, and then he beat him 2 straight on the pay-per-view. Makes no freaking booking sense whatsoever.
All right, next up we had Gold and Stardust retaining the titles against the Usos. I thought that this was going to be a short reign for Gold and Stardust. I thought Usos were going to win it back, and maybe the Ascension were going to come in and feud with the Usos. I was a little bit surprised that Goldust and Stardust are going to have apparently a lengthy reign as champions.
As was I. I like to make a petition. I want to start this on NoDQ.com, the website, tomorrow morning. I want to start calling them Goldust and Stardust. Let's stop being fucking lazy here.
They need a new team name.
They need a new team name, like the Gold, the Dust Twins or something. But his name is Goldust. He's not just Gold. Yeah. It angers me that Lane Garcia and Eden call him Gold. Bugs me. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I thought once again...
But the match was great. The match was good.
Once again, very solid match from all 4 of those guys. They always have solid work when they get in the ring together. We had AJ Lee defeating Paige. This was also decent. This wasn't bad. Neither Diva match was really bad.
Yeah, AJ and Paige continue to carry the division as the champion and the number 1 contender. I can't say enough good things about AJ Lee and her progress over the last, I want to say 3-4 years now?
Yeah.
Something like that.
About 3 years.
3 years now. Because I met her 3 years ago at Access. And she was still with Caitlyn as a team. So she's progressed phenomenally. Paige, I will gladly admit, she did not impress me when she transitioned from NXT to WWE. But she's gotten better. Alicia Fox needs to go, though. She needs to be out of the feud. It's stupid. And I'm glad that Paige turned on her tonight. I hate you at the end. Good. Get Alicia the hell. Alicia has not been useful in the entire time I've seen her in WWE. Yeah. And that's going to be on Total Divas with Paige.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Yeah, the match was fine. The crowd was completely dead for it. Which
the crowd shit on both Divas matches, which upset me because the other match, the Bella Twins, they put on a great match. They're not great, but they're good for them.
Don't go that far.
Yeah, they put on a good match for them. And the crowd they were booing Brie, who is Daniel Bryan's wife.
It's the acting and the storyline, I think, hurt the match. But technically, you know, they were going at it.
Yeah, I spent the last 2 months leading the meme of I didn't tell anyone of Nikki off the NoDQ group. Because it's just like, the acting sucks, we know it sucks, but the wrestling was actually very solid tonight.
I thought that Brie was going to win because I thought it was going to be something similar to when Ric Flair had Eric Bischoff doing all of his chores and making a fool out of Eric Bischoff. I thought we were going to get a repeat of that. I don't know, it just seems weird where the babyface has to suffer at the hands of the heel. I don't know.
I honestly thought, and maybe this was me thinking outside the box, God forbid, that Brie was going to lose because the option was either be the servant or quit. I figured she would just quit again and actually walk away this time and actually go make a family with Brian, but apparently I was wrong.
It happens. It's weird. It seems like on this show a lot of feuds were either ending or they're going to be continuing with the heels winning, except for John Cena. That's like the one big exception. That's the one time where the good guy always prevails.
Yeah, now is that the end of Cena Orton once and for all, though? That's the key question.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah. We won't see the end of them ever until one of them walks away.
Is it the end? Highly unlikely in all likelihood. Anyways, moving on.
Abraham Lincoln over here, this guy.
Moving on here, we have Rusev beating the Big Show. Oh. I thought that when Mark Henry came out, he was going to do the Vince Russo heel swerve where he turns on Big Show, but it didn't happen. So that was the big swerve. No heel turn from Mark Henry yet.
Yeah. But I believe it was JBL that erroneously pointed out that Big Show tapped out. I didn't see Big Show tap out. I believe he passed out.
I think he passed out.
But one of the 3 announced, I'm pretty sure it was Bradshaw.
His hands were like clutched.
His hands were like clutched against Rusev's legs. So I'm pretty sure he passed out. So whoever said that announce team should be fired. If it's Bradshaw, that sucks. He's the best announcer they've got.
And that's not saying much.
No.
Which leads us to the main event. Now, up until the main event, I was feeling iffy about this show. I felt like it was maybe slight thumbs down, but this main event really turned things around to me. I am very much convinced that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose can be in the main event spot in WWE and carry the show.
The fact that they put them on last shows faith.
Yeah.
And in a world in WWE that shows very little faith to its new stars. Vince is all about talking about creating new talent and molding new talent and generating new stars. But when has the Young Bucks, not Nick Jackson, ever been on last?
Right.
After Cena?
Yeah.
It hasn't happened, but it happened tonight.
Yeah.
And it was great to see. And you were skeptical when Dean climbed the top. You're like, nothing's gonna happen. And sure as shit, both of them took the tumble off the side of the cell.
Right. It was similar to the Shawn Michaels bump in the very first Hell in a Cell match, but this was maybe even more impressive because the cell is
bigger now, so halfway up is taller than it used to be.
Both guys going through each table at the same time. I thought that was a really cool spot. Very creative,
well timed, well done. I didn't like with it ending the way it ended, with Bray Wyatt turning the lights out, turning the lantern on, and interfering. I didn't like the idea of Corporate Kane getting involved. That kind of bothered me.
I thought ISIS was going to come out at first when the lights went out. And
right? I know, right? That was weird. But Corporate Kane getting involved before Bray getting involved made no sense. If you're going to have Bray be the guy to turn the corner, have Bray be the guy to turn the corner. Don't have Kane get involved at all. You already had Noble and Mercury out there running around like a couple of midgets, whatever. It made no sense to have Kane interfere to help Rollins when he didn't need it because Bray Wyatt was there.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought overall, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose beat the hell out of each other. It was a great brawl. Dean Ambrose clearly had the match won before Bray Wyatt came out and cost him the match. So
now, my question now is, since we've seen these promos the last month or so of Rowan and Harper being freed from the spell of Bray Wyatt, if you will, is it going to be Bray going solo against Ambrose? Now, are we going to have the Wyatt family involved now? Or are we going to have new members of the Wyatt family? Maybe the Ascension, as you mentioned earlier.
Or maybe WWE doesn't know yet.
Probably not. Knowing WWE, they probably have no idea what's going on after tonight.
But there you have it. Hell in a Cell 2014 in the record books. Now, the big announcement, in case you haven't heard already, Talk Wrestling is coming back to NoDQ.com with a special guest host, Rob Van Dam.
We'll have our special guest interview. He'll be on for 4 parts. Is that what we're doing? Or?
Hopefully. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how the editing process goes this week. But I need to assure people on my channel, and I'll put this on my channel when I get home or when Aaron uploads it, that this isn't the end of my channel. I'm still going to do Dads and Wrestling with JJ. I'm still going to do solo projects when I can with my own channel. But, Aaron and I lived 45 minutes apart the entire run of XMV and most of Talk Wrestling. The minute I walked away from NoDQ.com in 2011, Aaron moved up here. He lives 10 minutes from me now.
Yeah,
it's stupid not to work together when he lives... I can get here on a bus in 20 minutes. It's retarded to not work together. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work back together. And I miss Talk Wrestling. I know my fans like Greg Cherry in Pennsylvania and Maggie in Chicago, they miss Talk Wrestling. So what the hell? Let's bring it back. We'll do some interviews. We've got stuff lined up for next weekend. We'll talk more about that this week on Twitter. But things are progressing with NoDQ.com and Jeff Meacham and Talk Wrestling.
And No DQ&A video is not going anywhere. That will continue. Talk Wrestling coming back. Things are picking up for the No DQ CW YouTube channel. And you want to give a plug for your channel real quick?
It's youtube.com/JD Meacham, I believe is what I labeled it as.
You're not even positive about the URL.
I'm not, because I don't often plug it because people on my channel already know what it is. So I was going for Jeff Meacham, but some actor guy named Jeff Meacham stole that from me.
That son of a bitch.
I know, bastard.
Just like Seth Rollins, that
son of a bitch. That's right.
That was a great line by Lee, by the way.
You turned your back on me, you son of a... You stabbed me back, whatever the hell he said.
His facials and his whole demeanor, it was tremendous.
I loved the... I'm going to give Cena credit here. I'm going to get... I know it's not a popular thing to do. The interaction with him and Ambrose on Monday where Cena called Ambrose the Joker, it's like, this facial expressions tonight, very Heath Ledger Joker. It was excuse me. It was creepy. I just burped.
So much you had to burp.
So much I had to burp. It scared the burp out of me, literally.
Right. So there you have it for our thoughts on Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. What I'm going to do for you is I will put the link to your channel in the description box. So check out Jeff's channel, subscribe. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest in WWE and TNA, and we'll see you guys for videos this coming week.